they got it bumping. Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude in this place, he out cold with a tombstone. Of the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go. The cage match, it's on now. When I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold till they hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringin' the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul era, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. Ted DiBiase, keep a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place. Or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to another episode of Boot to the Face, powered by FullPressCoverage.com. Go there for all your sporting wants and needs, as we are here on the eve of Money in the Bank and the 4th of July. We just got done with Forbidden Door. LeBron just signed a $100 million contract for 2 years because his son's playing for the Lakers. All of that will be covered over at FullPressCoverage.com. EJ, why are you smiling? You don't like Bronny and Braun playing together?
I mean, I don't mind them playing together, but he was going to get paid regardless if Bronny was playing with him or not.
All right. $100 million for 2 years to play basketball, man. Good Lord. I'd love to be that good. I'd literally only play for 2 years and then I'd retire.
I mean, yeah, but the reason why he's getting paid that much is the years that he put prior to it. So,
I know.
Yeah, I don't think nobody would get paid that much, like out of like a rookie deal or something like that. But LeBron's earned it, so shout out to him. I think it's still Bronny signed for like 5 years, $8 million. Like people are like, huh. But to a regular person, let me get $5,
Right. You got that money no more.
True that. So
that is a very small contract though for an NBA player. Like I feel like people that ride the bench get like $10 million a year.
It depends what year you're in. Rookie deals are like not good nowadays.
I hadn't paid attention to NBA contracts in a long time, so 5 years for $8 million just sounds crazy to me.
It's not good, but I mean, I'm not good at math, but I mean, split that up, that's still over millions per year. So, hey, for dribbling the basketball.
In LA, though, he's only going to, after taxes, he'll probably get like 5 of that. I don't know. That shit will be gone. He'll still have to live with his mama and daddy.
I highly doubt that because you got to think about endorsement deals too.
Yeah, I'm just fucking around. Like he's obviously gonna be doing good, but that's like chump change in NBA money. So yeah. I guess that's why people are joking about it. But like you said, sign me the fuck up. 5 years, $8 million. Let's do this now. Where do I sign?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who knows if you even make the team? Right, 2nd round picks. A lot of them don't even make the team.
They're not gonna cut LeBron's son.
Why not?
They might put him on the bench. But
they might send
him.
They might send him to the D League.
LeBron probably send me to the D League too, then.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people hating on it, but I mean, who wouldn't try to get their son in a position to win in life? So
I mean,
I'm not mad at it.
We do a podcast about pro wrestling. Like, there's nothing but nepotism in pro wrestling. Like,
I know. You had David Flair as a U.S. champion, so.
Yeah. That says it all right there. You had fucking Eric Bischoff's son was a champion and a wrestler in TNA.
Oh, shit. I thought he was like a referee. I wasn't even paying attention.
No, he was in fucking Aces and Eights.
That's even worse. That's terrible.
Fucking Garrett Bischoff.
For some reason, I thought he was like a referee.
He may have started like that, but he ended up as a wrestler. He was trash, too. The McMahons, fucking Cody, Roman, the Ortons, like nepotism's running through wrestling. Like people act like this shit is new because LeBron's doing it. Why do people got such a hard on hating on LeBron?
I don't know. Probably because he doesn't get in trouble or anything.
That's why you shouldn't hate on him. You should fucking tell your kids to be like him when they grow up. Like the guy's been in the NBA for 20 years. I was reading something. It's like he doesn't have any like wild stories about cheating on his wife or kids out of wedlock or never gets arrested and all that shit. But every time he does something semi-controversial, everybody takes it and fucking runs with it. And it's just like the dude don't do shit but play basketball and go home to his family.
Meanwhile, Jordan was gambling, punching teammates in the face, being an asshole, but everybody loves him. Or the old heads love him.
The flu game. Flu game wasn't no fucking flu. That nigga was hungover. He
Yeah.
was out drinking the night before, drunk as hell. I've been there. I know what a hangover looks like. That motherfucker had a hangover. It was like me at work this morning after the Meg Thee Stallion concert last night.
Yeah, that's a good segue right there. Seems like you had fun out there.
I did. That's the first concert I've went to in 20 years, probably. I can't remember which was the last concert I went to. It was either the Pedophiles concert way back in the day, or it was the Up in Smoke tour with Dr. Dre and Eminem and West Side Connection and all of them. I can't remember which one I went to last though, but that was the last concert I went to. Couple takeaways, EJ. One, there's a whole slew of music out there that I have no fucking idea about. That chick Glorilla, one, she was hot as shit. But like there was people in that crowd singing along every fucking word of every song she did, and they were into it. So yeah, I'm just kind of a little older and out of the music scene now. I guess I'm like what my parents were when I was younger. Like I know the popular shit, but I don't know like Glorilla was playing her deep cuts, and it was people just fucking going with. Two, people at these concerts dress. You think wrestling fans dress weird? Boy, it was some shit I saw last night. Some good shit and some bad shit. There's one girl. We were in the merch line because I get a T-shirt everywhere I go, and she's a bigger lady. She had a picture of her titties on her shirt, bare
What?
titties. Yes, a picture of her titties on her shirt. You're probably thinking, Chris, how do you know those were her titties? I have an answer for you, because the shirt she was wearing was like a little Jey Uso shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And when she went to get the size of a Meg Thee Stallion shirt, she put her arms up in the air to put it on, and the shirt comes up and her titties are just out at the merch line for like 15, 20 seconds. And I was like, those are the same tits, same nipples and everything. She was not somebody whose titties you'd want to see though. But it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun, a lot of weed in the air, even though we were inside State Farm. I don't know if you've ever been to CNN Center, but if people are listening that have been here in Atlanta, that used to be like the pregame. If you go to like a Hawks game or a wrestling event, CNN Center was connected to the CNN building, and it was just a big food court with like restaurants and places to eat and shit. It's like a fucking ghost town now because CNN closed that down. So like there's nothing in there anymore. We walked in and I thought everything was closed. They actually came by and tried to like make us leave while we were eating. They're like, we're closed now. Y'all gotta go. It's like, I just paid for food. Yeah. So
I've been the Phillips Arena, now the State Farm.
yeah.
I think I did go through CNN actually. You said the food court is closed down?
Yeah, everything in there is basically closed besides like an Arby's, a Philly cheesesteak place, a Subway, and like a little pizza joint. There's nothing in there anymore. And it used to be so many people. And like the last wrestling event I went to, I think we went to CNN Center, and it was just people everywhere. We had to like almost sit on the steps because there was nowhere to sit to eat. It was so packed. There was like 6 of us in there eating yesterday.
Damn, sad shit.
Yeah.
I also went to Georgia Dome. I hadn't been to the Mercedes Benz, the new one. That's the uppity stuff. That's where high class Negroes like you go to now, the Mercedes Benz Arena.
I mean, that's where we gotta go. We got no choice. That's where they hold the shit at.
Fair enough. But yeah, it sounded like you had a good time. I fuck with Glorilla though. Yeah, Glow. Yeah, she go hard from Memphis. Her music. That's what she said. She got that hard Memphis accent.
That girl got some abs.
Yeah, she's fit.
She is fit as shit. That's all I kept like saying. I was like, good lord. Like, is being a fucking rapper like that? Like, it takes a lot to. It's kind of like Bianca and Jade. I was saying it takes a lot to be a woman standing next to Meg Thee Stallion and people notice you still. And Glorilla did it. I barely knew any of her songs. Like my girlfriend knew more of her shit than I did, which tells you a lot because she's white. Um, but yeah, it was a good time. What about you? You got anything? You got anything planned for the fourth before we start getting to the wrestling talk?
I have no clue. I'm back in South Carolina. I'm just playing in by ear. I've been traveling a lot. Barely be able to keep up with wrestling, but maybe might go to Patriots Point, which is a place by the water, and they shoot fireworks. But I'm just playing this whole week by ear.
Yeah,
What you got
I,
planned?
I do the Peachtree Road Race every year, which is the fucking 10K that happens in Atlanta with like 50,000 people. So waking up tomorrow, driving to the MARTA station, getting dropped off there, gonna do 6.2 miles out in the heat, and then probably gonna come home and not do a motherfucking thing. Uh, Kids are with their mom for 4th of July this year, so I don't have to worry about trying to get out and make sure they see fireworks, and I don't really give a fuck about fireworks, so I'm probably just gonna chill and I gotta work Friday.
Hey, hey, like you said, work's more important than watching fireworks, and kind of already celebrated like our freedom with Juneteenth. This is like almost like a bonus type holiday because we weren't quite free yet, but you know,
Right.
still appreciate living in the country, but we celebrate our freedom last month.
We just fucking we just take the day off.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, happy 4th of July to everybody out there celebrating, and make sure you don't lose a finger.
Yeah. Go back to work on Monday with all ten limbs. Um Another thing I posted today, I just saw, was I did an interview with like a shout out magazine in Atlanta about the podcast. They didn't put a lot of the stuff in there that I did say, but they still featured me in their magazine, talked about Boot to the Face, what we do here. So that was pretty cool. I shared the link on Twitter and Facebook and uh, in our Discord, I think. So just a little
Yes.
shout out to everybody that listens and you and Marty and everybody that's helped behind the scenes with Boot to the Face. So
Yeah, I saw that, man. How'd you get connected with that?
I couldn't even tell you. They emailed me and were like, "Hey, we want to interview you about your podcast and blah blah blah." And I started doing some research, and it's like an online mag. You can get a hard copy of it, and they gave me a little bit of time to get my questions and answers and shit like that ready. And I completely forgot about it until they emailed me this morning and were like, "Hey, here's the link to your post. It's live." It's like, "Oh shit, I forgot about that." So,
Hey, shout out to them. Anybody that's keeping that form of media going, hats off to them.
yeah.
And then, you know, giving you a platform to promote the podcast.
Yeah.
Can't get any better than that.
We had Forbidden Door this past week, EJ. Did you get to watch it with all your travels?
I did. It was like in a little blind spot period because I this past weekend I was out there on the river, still out in Missouri from Friday to Saturday, and came back. Packed my stuff on Sunday, and then I went to work on Monday, so I lied. But we didn't get back till a little bit later Sunday, so I had to get some tax stuff coordinated. But I had Forbidden Door on, and it was solid. I know you didn't enjoy it, so let's talk about your Forbidden Door experience.
I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy it. I just feel like this was the first time that I can remember. There may have been one other AEW pay-per-view where I found myself just like, all right, this is fucking dragging. Like, and there was a couple matches like the Mercedes and Stephanie Vakir match was really good. Obviously, I was into Tony Storm and Mina, and Swerve and Will Ospreay was fucking great. But like, one, there's so many matches, and two, I just feel like they didn't mean anything. You know, it's Forbidden Door. Like, okay, Zack Sabre Jr. beat Orange Cassidy. Okay, Okada pinned fucking not Naito, Tanahashi. Uh, okay, Naito beat John Moxley, but we kind of knew that was gonna happen. Like, there was their little get back. Like, honestly, the three matches I named were probably the best matches of the night for me. The return of Britt Baker, that was weird because she just walked out and then left.
I kind of like that though.
So I guess we'll find out tonight what her mission statement is now that she's back. Um, the crowd turning on Mercedes was good, but I also felt like the crowd wasn't as into it as they normally are, except for like the big shit. But it just kind of drug, man. And it was after midnight when it was over. And then I got up the next day and I was reading on Twitter that the media scrum, they had a 30-minute recap before that now. So people were pissed about that. They're like, what are you doing? Like all the reporters and shit like that go there. Like, we just sat here for 5 hours. Now we got to sit here for 30 minutes while somebody talks about the 5 hours we sat here before we can get our fucking questions asked. So it was just it's a marathon of a night. And on one hand, I get it because they are charging $50 a pay-per-view. So you do want to give people their money's worth, but it's just a lot of shit that could have been on Dynamite.
So there's a lot to unpack with this. So Tony Khan is digging his heels in the ground. It just is what it is. The pay-per-view is going to be 10 to 12 matches long, and it's just too much. It's a marathon, but like you said, they kind of have to do it because people are paying so much. That's why they need to hurry up and get this TV deal. Like, go to HBO Max, start doing the PLE model. And like you said, it wasn't like the typical high charge AEW crowd. They had highs and lows. Usually they had fever pitch the whole night. So
Yeah.
that's that. But like we said when we were previewing this pay-per-view, it's just time to get rid of this Forbidden Door concept. It's like a weird stopgap and kind of staggers your storytelling. Like you said, a lot of fantasy matches, even though it's not fantasy matches now because AEW holds most of the talent. And no implications on the wins and losses when as far as it goes as AEW versus New Japan. Like you said, all the matches that you got up for, well, I guess you like the women's matches, even though they were cross brand, but Swerve and Osprey had the most implications, which was probably the match of the night, and it's two AEW guys. So yeah, it's like the novelty of the Forbidden Door is gone. You could like even change it to, you could keep that pay-per-view in July, just change the name and have just be a regular pay-per-view. You just want to keep the pay-per-view. But as far as the Forbidden Door concept, I think the luster is worn off on that.
Or maybe even switch it from, no, I guess that wouldn't work. I was going to say let New Japan do it one year and then you do it the next year where guys go to Japan instead of coming here. But I don't even think.
But like you had a concept, do like a World Cup like for every 4 years or so.
Yeah, almost like the Olympics, and then you could switch hosting it. But
yeah,
it is what it is. Like you said, Tony Khan's dug his heels in, and we watch every one of them. And for the most part, I'm entertained by them. I complain about the length of them and them being on Sunday night, but when you sit down to watch an AEW pay-per-view, I do feel like you get your money's worth. Like they could have taken Swerve and Osprey, Tony and Mina, Mercedes and Stephanie, uh, Moxley and Naito, and then the TBS championship match. That could have been a pay-per-view right there, just those 5 matches. 2.5, 3 hours long. Instead, you got 7 other matches that don't mean shit. So like you're getting your money's worth, and it's a good pay-per-view. It's like you start losing me because I sit through 2 or 3 matches I don't give a shit about, and it's like you don't know the match order, so when you see what match is next, you're like, fuck. Well, this is gonna be 30 minutes before we get to the next one. Like, I don't really care about this one. Let me go try to, get my clothes ready for in the morning or pack my lunch or whatever. But yeah, Forbidden Door's come and gone.
But as far as match length, Tony's got a weird brain, so he's probably, and with the irony is that UFC and WWE are with parent companies, so he's probably looking at it like UFC. They have about 13 fights per card. You got the prelim show that has 5 fights, and they have 4 fights, and then the prelim that has like 3 or 4. So you got about 10. But the thing about UFC is like non-scripted, so a fight can end in like 10 seconds. But with Tony Khan, the match is going to last about 10 minutes at the very least. So you're putting on these 13, 12 fight cards. Like you said, when you're looking at one match, you're like, this is going to go a certain length. So it's like dragging on and then just like waiting for it to end, which is not a good outlook to have on it. So like WWE has a nice, concise 5 match card, and I'm not totally mad at that. But I feel like a sweet spot would be like 6 to 7, maybe 8 matches.
Especially if you're going to do a pre-show, 8 matches is perfect. 1 or 2 matches on the pre-show. Because they had, 5 matches on the pre-show?
Yeah, something like that. 4 or 5. I don't know. Something, yeah.
That's a lot of fuck. Like, them people were tired. That's why the crowd didn't seem like it. It worn the fuck out. I didn't even talk about MJF's match. Like, MJF, that match could have been on Dynamite.
Yeah.
He's arguably your biggest star, and his match didn't mean shit. Like, it was just there to get him on the show. But whatever. They're not going to change Forbidden Door, and I don't see them changing their pay-per-view structure. So I'll just complain about the length, but praise the actual action because, again, like I feel like AEW match, like that Swerve and Ospreay match was really good. It had some stupid interference shit with Don Callison that I didn't really care for, but obviously that's a story going somewhere, but it just didn't. It was like the timing was off on it. Like it happened with like 5 minutes left in the match. Like they wrestled another 5 minutes afterwards. So it's not like Ospreay can say Don Callis cost me the match. Like you still lost, but it was a good match, a good ending. I liked it. I was excited that Swerve kept the title. So it'll be fun to see what happens tonight as we're recording on Wednesday with Swerve still is your champ, Britt Baker making her return and possibly calling out Mercedes. I believe they're in Chicago, so their crowd will be juiced up. One more thing, I just got an alert.
Mm-hmm.
The behind the scenes WrestleMania documentary is now live on YouTube. So that'll be a good watch.
I wonder if they're gonna sugarcoat it and gloss it up, or if they're gonna really give some juice on what happened with it, how it formulated with WrestleMania.
It would probably be The Rock being like, I'm such a great, smart person that I saw what was happening and I decided to turn heel, instead of him being like, it kind of pissed me off that the crowd acted like that, which is probably what happened. He probably was pissed off.
Well, that's not the real account for what happened if he glossed it up like that. I see what the tea leaf said, and I had to switch it up. I want to hear the real story. I want to see him and Triple H pushing each other backstage, arguing about how to go down.
Well, when Brian Gerwitz was on Busted Open, he said like the weekend that everybody turned on The Rock, that The Rock was like, "What if I turn heel?" And they had to be like convinced about it. So they're saying it was The Rock's idea, but who knows? Who knows what they're not going to tell the truth. They're going to make it seem like everybody's a big, happy fucking family when Cody probably hates The Rock in real life, and The Rock probably hates little punk ass Cody. The Rock's probably what The Rock would say, not me. I'm not saying Cody's little punk ass.
Not what I said. That's what I heard.
That's what I heard The Rock say. Telepathic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna watch it. I wonder how long it is. Probably like an hour, hour and a half, right?
Yeah. We got 2 predictions we got to do, EJ. So we can skip power rankings this week if you want. And
I was actually kind of looking forward to my power rankings.
All right, well, go ahead and give yours. We don't need mine. We'll use your official power rankings as boots of the week.
All right, well, we'll skim through them fast. My power rankings. I'm gonna go off on a limb and say you probably didn't do them ahead of time. So we'll do a speed power rankings, and whenever I get my number 5, you can just retort with your number 5, and then we'll just go down the line. Now, number 5, I had the rejuvenated, taking out your boy Paul Heyman, even though they didn't wrestle, the Bloodline. at number 5.
Such a good storyline. My number 5 would have been Drew McIntyre.
My number 4, one of your favorite wrestlers in the whole world wrestling entertainment, and I say that sarcastically. He qualified for the Money in the Bank at SmackDown. L.A. Knight beat
Yeah.
Logan Paul. He beat Logan Paul and Santos
Who did he
Escobar.
pin? Did he pin Logan Paul?
Yeah, he rolled him up. Yeah,
Oh,
reverse
wow.
rolled him up.
I couldn't remember. I did watch that. Good for him though. Good for LA Knight getting a big win. He ain't gonna win. Actually, I think it's between Jey Uso and LA Knight who wins Money in the Bank.
Oh, that's a tease for when we actually do our predictions.
Yeah.
Who would you have had at number 4?
My number 4 would have been Tony Storm.
My number 3 would have been your number 5, I think. Drew McIntyre had a hell of a match with Sheamus and Ilya Dragunov in that triple threat end off Raw. So hard hitting match.
Yep. My number 3 would have been the Scapegoat, new TBS champion.
For some reason, I'm like, man, will he pick Jack? I left him off my list on purpose, but I'm like, maybe Rucker will pick him. So hypothetically, you would have. Huh. Very interesting. My number 2 is the CEO, Mercedes Moné, now your New Japan Women's Strong Champion and still your TBS champion. And one of my favorite matches of Forbidden Door.
My number 2 is Swerve Strickland.
Oh.
Still your AEW World Champion.
And my number 2, your number 2 is my number 1, Swerve Strickland. Possibly my match of the week with him and Ospreay in a hell of a match. Like you said, the interference was a little bit unnecessary, but not enough to detract from how good the match was, in my opinion. So Swerve is my number 1. Speed power rankings.
My number 1, the only reason she's number 1 is because Swerve did defeat another champion, but she defeated another champion and took her title, and now is a double champion. CEO 2 belts, as they call her, some shit like that. And the match was really good. Stephanie Vaquer, I don't know a lot about her, but she can fucking go. And the crowd kind of turned on Mercedes, which is good because now Britt Baker's back, and if they're going to be in the thing, Mercedes is probably going to come off as the heel. So it all worked. It was a really good match. That's one thing about Mercedes. You might not like her on the mic. You might not like her little fucking dance move. But when that goddamn bell rings, that woman can fucking go. And she can go with anybody. And I feel like she made Stephanie Vaquer a fucking star. Not she did. I take it back. She didn't make her a star. Stephanie working her ass off against a star like Mercedes made her a star. And that was a good match. And now people know her name that didn't know her name, like myself.
Yeah, man. You hit the nail on the head. I don't even need to add on to that.
Street close of the week. I got a funny one. It's technically street clothes, even though it was a match, because it was a street fight. And I'm going to pick Jada Parker and Michin. I like the fact that both of them dressed appropriately for a fucking street fight.
Yeah, they both had the jeans on, right?
Yeah, jeans and a shirt, little elbow pads. Like I've said it before. Anytime I think of a street fight, I think of Dusty Rhodes. He would always come out with jeans and a cowboy boot and fucking a bandana wrapped around his knee for some weird reason. Knee pads on top of the jeans.
Hey, what about his son though?
I mean, he came dressed for a fight in a fucking 3-piece suit the other day on SmackDown. Orton and KO had athletic gear on ready to fight. Cody comes out there in a suit. Bro, you know we about to roll up on these niggas. Why you in a suit? This shit ain't tactical.
I remember one week you praised him. You gave him the street clothes rest of the week for not wearing a suit. He came,
right,
and then he just reverted back to what he knows, I guess.
He said, man, fuck your street clothes of the week. This is what I'm comfortable in.
Well,
yes.
Shout out to Jada Parker and Michin.
Yeah, they put on a good match too.
Yeah, they did. I only watched like half of NXT. I need to go back and watch the rest of it because it was pretty good. Like you said, it kicked it off with that street match. I think I got to Tuck. I don't even know what to call them. The two dudes, the backstage. They act like they were security. Now they wrestle. Can't even remember their name. It rhymes. I got to that match, and I was watching it a little bit. I went to the beach. I was watching it a little bit on my phone on the beach, and I'm like, all right, man, what am I doing watching
That's
this?
on the beach.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I'm like, what am I doing? Because I watched like that Jada Parker match. I watched this morning when I was still at my people's crib, at my parents' crib. Then when I got to the beach, I'm like, let me try to catch up because I know we got to record tonight. And then these two guys were wrestling. I'm like, man, what the fuck am I doing? I mean, I need to enjoy this beach watching these two jabronis on my phone. I can't even remember their names. So I just went back to drinking and put the phone down. But my street clothes wrestler of the week, like we talked about earlier for a little bit, the Bloodline, I sold Sokola though, the tribal chief, even though Paul Heyman didn't want to acknowledge him. He had the all black get up, the black gloves, the chain on. And he said, hey, you ain't acknowledge me, so I got to give you this thumb, bruh, right to your throat.
Man, I was not into Bloodline 2.0 at the beginning of it. Like, I wanted it to work, and it slowly just fucking gotten so much better and better. Like, who'd have thunk Paul Heyman turning babyface? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he had his like brief, like, because Brock Lesnar was always towing the line on like being a tweener, and you had some periods where Paul Heyman, but this was like a full-fledged, like almost babyface moment. Like, I don't think we've ever seen that with Paul Heyman, have we?
no.
And except when he was like the head of ECW, like he was a fan favorite.
Yeah, ECW he was, but Paulie Dangerously, he was a shithead in WCW all the time, that big ass phone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this Bloodline storyline is just like, and everybody's talking about we want Roman. Like, y'all do realize when Roman comes back, he's gonna take an ass whooping of monumental proportion. It's four of them, and it's just Roman. Well, he ain't coming. You think Paul Heyman's gonna help him? He's gonna come back, try to tell Solo to acknowledge him, and they're gonna beat the shit out of him. Roman's gonna take a couple ass whoopings
until he recruits his cousins back, right?
I wouldn't even go help him.
You know they are. They're not just have him get his ass beat everywhere.
I'd be like, sorry, Chief.
I have faith in this new regime though, where, like you said, he's gonna get his ass whooped, but I think they're gonna play it right where he just doesn't. He's not gonna Super Cena his way through the bloodline. I think they're gonna tell it in a good way where he's a little bit and not bury him at the end of the day.
I think this is the only way they could do it to where he's not right back in the title picture. But I tell you what, Cody's gonna have to step his game up when the Chief comes back, because you're gonna end up in that CM Punk position where you're the world champion, Roman Reigns is the main event, because I don't see too many pay-per-views Roman Reigns on where he ain't the main event. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and it's at a fever pitch now. Every SmackDown that the Bloodline shows up is "We want Roman" chants. Hey, that's the way to do it. That's the way to organically build somebody and not force it down your throat. I mean, I think like now that you mentioned it, I think it was all because he had the belt, because everybody was we're tired of Roman winning every time. Now he doesn't have a belt, out of sight, out of mind, and now you realize how much of a big star. Now y'all chanting that y'all want him every week. That's why I hate people, man. Fickle
fucks. And then as soon as he gets back, they'll be like, oh, Roman's always on TV. He's got a 30-minute segment, and, Chad Gable's segment got cut now. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I think at this point, man, he's like probably the highest paid in wrestling. I think that he's gonna just play it like he did when he had the belt. You're not gonna see him every SmackDown. It's gonna make it even more special. But like you said, you're gonna have like the mouth breathers complaining like they cut Chad Gable segment. Yeah, like you said, shut up.
Right, like, because you really give a fuck about Chad Gable.
Exactly, but yeah, like you said, the Bloodline 2.0.
We got 2 pay-per-views coming up this week that we need to predict, EJ.
Yes, sir. And have they done this? I know they used to do it like all the time, but it's been a while that since they've done like NXT and WWE same weekend.
Um,
Besides like WrestleMania, of
yeah,
course.
they've done it. I think within the past calendar year, I believe. But because WWE's been going to all these other countries and shit, they can't. It's kind of hard to take NXT with them. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, NXT will be in Canada the night after. I think that's crazy because NXT used to be on Saturday, obviously, and then the WWE would do Sunday, but now it's kind of switched, and now NXT Sunday night. But there are 5 matches on the main show, 1 match on the pre-show, and we will get into predicting them. The pre-show is your girl Ariana Grace and Carmen Petrovich versus JC Jane and my girl Jasmine Nix.
My girl is Ariana Grace. I'm a big fan. I know you used to watch Temptation Island, but this show Love Island, it's a Peacock show. They got a girl on there that looks like just like Ariana Grace, but she's significantly younger. But they look like the same age. But I digress. I didn't know this match got made. It's gonna be some shenanigans with Grace because she's a heel and Petrovich is a baby face. So give me the other team, JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. That's her name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me those two.
I will take Ariana Grace and Carmen Petrovich.
Huh? How come?
I don't know. I just don't like JC Jane.
I'm not a big fan of her either. But how you think? What do you think about her taking Cody's gimmick? Cody blessed her with it.
Yeah, but she never even wore it.
She is wearing it like all the time.
I thought she's still wearing the black one and just carrying that one around.
Oh, you saying like his specific one?
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, I don't understand that. Well, thanks for pointing out logic.
Let's see here. For some reason, your audio stopped recording on my end, so that fucking sucks. So I might have to have you send me the
video link.
Yeah, the video, and I'll just record it on there. But whatever, we'll talk about that later. You're still recording, so that works. NXT Tag Team Championship: Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Chase U.
Wow. I can't believe they're running that match. I mean, give me Nathan Frazier and Axiom.
I'm gonna take Chase U.
Why? How come?
I feel like Chase U never wins.
Exactly.
Have they ever won a title? Have they ever won a title? Have any championship reigns?
They won the tag team championship.
Okay, well, they're gonna win them again come Sunday. I don't know what. I thought it was funny. Butch, Pete Dunne walked up on Ridge Holland and was like, "You changed, man." A couple weeks ago in NXT, and I was like, "Fuck, that's right. They used to be the Brawling Brutes together."
Yeah. They kind of just rebooted them or rebranded them, and everybody went their separate ways. Sheamus
got hurt.
Raw. Oh, during Raw?
No, Sheamus got hurt. He was out for like a year, so they just broke up the Brawling Brutes and.
It's like a quiet breakup. It like you said, sometimes they have to make it like a big deal and then beat each other up, but they just did a quiet going their ways. Sheamus popped back up using his old theme song.
Yep. NXT North American Women's Championship match. Kalani Jordan. I didn't like her winning the title, but the look is kind of growing on me. Like, she looks like a champion. She's taking on Sol Ruka. This might steal the show if they fucking do it right.
Sol Ruka might steal her soul with that soul snatcher, but
shit, Jordan gonna win.
Yeah, it's just too soon. I don't understand why they're running this. This could be like their Sasha and Bailey if they were to build it up, but I feel like they're running it a lot sooner than necessary because I think both of them have an opportunity to be like next 5 years or so on the roster. It's like being the it girls because both of them are hella athletic. They got the look. I still got to hear more Kalani on the mic. Soul seems pretty solid on the mic though. So, but I got Kalani retaining.
She's definitely solid on Instagram.
That's Carmelo's a lucky guy, ain't it? That's his little boo thing.
Kalani, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about Soul, but yeah, Kalani too on Instagram.
I hadn't seen Soul's IG.
I got Kalani Jordan winning also. NXT North American Championship, Obafemi. Woo. Wes Lee. There ain't a world where you can match these two up besides pro wrestling where somebody would pick Wes Lee to beat Obafemi in combat. I won't be doing that today. I'm picking Obafemi. But shout out to Wes Lee. He's gonna try. He's gonna look very good doing it. He's gonna come really close. But
in the words of Rick Ross talking to Keith Lee, you a big motherfucker. That's a big boy. It's a big boy, and I'm not picking against him either. I got him retaining. I don't know who's gonna take the belt off him. It's gonna have to be like one of those like fluke roll up type situations and whatnot.
He might have to cash his in against Trick and give up that one and be the NXT champion until he gets called up.
Hey, that might be the route to go, but yeah, give me Obi.
NXT Women's Championship match: Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice.
Man,
you see them arguing on Twitter recently?
Yeah,
they were fighting on Twitter. Lola Vice called Roxanne out about not being proud of her heritage, about being Hispanic. Like she was she said you only do that shit when it's convenient to you. Now all of a sudden you speak Spanish because Roxy said something like in Spanish, and Lola was like, "Bitch, I didn't even know you spoke Spanish." And they went back and forth. That shit was funny. I was like,
yeah, it's like within the Hispanic community, they have, I think Roxy's Mexican and I think Lola is like Cuban. Yeah, Cuban. Maybe that's the divide. Yeah. Hey, I like that. Like mix up real life stuff with scripted and wrestling stuff. So hey,
tell you what, when I used to weld, there wasn't one thing you could do to a Mexican guy at my job to piss him off more than calling him Guatemalan.
Snap.
Or vice versa. Like the Guatemalan guy, you'd be like, when you was in Mexico, I ain't fucking Mexican. Did I fucking look pinchy Mexican to you? I'm like, bro.
Oh shit.
Ain't like that shit at all.
It was it was a different time. You didn't know better back then.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know anyway. Like you just, I just assumed.
But you today's Chris Rucker, you wouldn't go up to a Hispanic person and call him Mexican.
Well, I mean, in that line of work, like you just talk shit to each other regardless. Like that's a different line of work. But then again, you might be right because when I was phased out of it, I shouldn't say phased out. When I was phasing out of that line of work, I remember getting called to HR because a guy that was in my weld class that I was teaching, his name was Pat, and I kept calling him Pat my nuts. Did that shit for like 6 months, and he called me Chris Fucker, right? And then one day he says, I just want you to know I've already gone to HR. I don't like when you call me Pat my nuts. So don't call me that again or I'm gonna have to go. And I was like,
call me Chris Fucker. What?
I was like, bro, I thought we were joking. He's like, no, it hurts my feelings. I said, you're 50 fucking years old. You ain't got no goddamn feelings. And that I got called to the office for that. And I was like, is this a real thing? Like this dude really told on me because I called him Pat my nuts. But yeah.
He was calling you in return. I could see if you were saying it and he wasn't giving to you back.
Right.
But he was calling you. Why did you mention that? Like he was calling me Chris Fucker.
I just laughed it off because I didn't get in trouble for it. They just called me up there and told me like, don't call him that anymore. But I thought we had a joking rapport with each other because it was something that we did the whole time. And then one day he was just like, and he said it so serious. I thought he was joking. He's like, stopped laughing. He like looked at me, took his fucking glasses off, and he's like, it hurts my feelings when you say that. Get your candy ass out of here. That's when I knew it was time for me to leave that fucking field. I didn't fit anymore. I'm too old, crotchety, stuck in my ways. calling people pat my nuts and whatnot. Anyhow, Roxy and Lola Vice. I got Lola.
Oh, really? New champion. I got
Oh,
Roxanne.
that belt gonna look good around her waist.
I bet it will.
I wonder, is Lola Vice married?
Nah, not that I know of.
I know everybody in NXT trying to holler at her.
Hey, let's see the lucky guy who is able to turn her head.
It's gonna be one of them niggas you couldn't picture their name earlier. She was watching on the
Pat and Jack. It was like Pat and Jack or something. It was rhyming.
former security guard turned wrestler, now dating Lola Vice.
Hey, I'm gonna come back next week and figure out their names. You wait.
Don't worry about it.
Nah, watch it be one of the OTM dudes.
Yeah, it'll be the fucking former sommelier. What's his name?
Reggie, his ass got fired, so it's not gonna be him.
Did he really?
Yeah, he's been fired for like months now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
They just kicked him out of OTM and replaced him with Jada Parker.
well, they all four were together for a while. Reggie got the boot. Well, hopefully he lands on his feet. No pun intended, because he was an acrobat and whatnot.
I thought he was a wine guy. That's what Carmella had him
He
doing.
came from Cirque de Olay, Vegas and shit.
That's how he was doing all them fucking flips.
Yep,
That match with him and Sasha was really fucking funny.
it was. Man, that seems like a whole different
lifetime
ago. Yeah.
Different, what do they call it? You're in a different galaxy.
Yeah. That was definitely a Vince idea. Pop them. Get the black guy going against the black woman.
You probably said it just like that. Then we'll have him flipping.
Yeah, exactly.
Have him doing flips and tricks. It'll be just like back in the day.
Exactly.
NXT Championship match, Trick Williams versus Javon Evans. Again,
it's a fatal four, ain't it?
Oh, that's not what this says on here. Oh, you're right. It is. I guess I'm not looking at an updated card, but yeah, didn't Ethan Page and Sean Spears get into it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Trick's still winning though.
Yeah. You don't give Javon Williams, the kid Bouncy, you don't give him a shot?
Nah, he ain't got a shot at all. This is just for him to get on here and showcase his skills and stuff like that, but he ain't winning.
I can see them pulling a fast one on us and letting Ethan Page run with it, but I'm not picking him. I'm still picking Trick.
Man, if they take the title off of fucking Trick this early, that would be the dumbest fucking thing.
I mean, if they have him win it right back, maybe not, but if they were trying to just take it off him, like for the long haul, yeah, that would be stupid.
Yeah. WWE Money in the Bank comes to you this Saturday night from Toronto. I talked to my boy Dez up there from Talkamania. He said he is not going because tickets were too damn high.
Really?
Yeah.
They're pricing people out? That's some bull.
He said the tickets were higher this time to sit in worse seats than they were the last time that he went. So he said because I was talking to him about going to WrestleMania next year. And he's like, I could actually probably see myself trying to do that. And he said, you know how much tickets are for Mania? And I said, they're probably going to be high as fuck. And then we got to talking about Money in the Bank. So he's actually not going. I know he wanted to, so that's a bummer. But, got to make choices.
Yeah, be like that sometimes.
Yep. Shit, I mean, I'm not going to any shows next year besides Mania. Like, that Mania show's going to cost me a shitload of money, or that Mania trip. Luckily, I got free rooms and stuff like that to stay in, and I bought my plane ticket already. It wasn't as expensive, but I got a feeling I'm going to drop some big fucking money on night 2 at WrestleMania.
Well, so you think just the tickets for the seats? I feel like my Philly trip wasn't bad at all. First night, I got like bottom row, not front row, but like, bottom bowl, and they weren't too bad. And then the second night I said F it and just got like nosebleeds, but I guess it depends on if you're trying to get good seats both nights, I guess.
Well, so I don't know who all is going yet, but I do know Joey DeLorme's going to go, him and his brother, and they want to get seats together. And then I think my buddy Joey Steelman's actually going to go too, that you met in Greensboro.
Mm-hmm.
And if you come and I don't know how early you're going to decide if you're going or not, but everybody that wants to go, if we all want to sit together, I don't mind getting decent seats on Saturday, but Sunday night, like if The Rock is wrestling, I want good seats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what people will quantify as good. Like I ain't trying to sit front row, but the seats I had at WrestleMania in Dallas, those are really good seats to me. Like we were at the top of the lower bowl, so there was nobody behind us, and we could see everything. That would be good, or fucking straight on, or whatever. I don't know. It's a long way out, but I can see myself spending $300 or $400 on night two.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I think that's the range I played for night one, somewhere around that, to see The Rock. And I had like the seats that you describing. I was like the middle of the lower bowl.
Yeah.
Hey, you haven't seen The Rock, so I don't blame you for wanting to spend that. But I already seen him, so I'm probably gonna come to Vegas. But if I have to get shitty seats one of the nights and have y'all go to the lower bowl, I might have to do that.
Depends on what that roulette wheel is playing. I might upgrade my seats, you know.
There we go.
WWE Money in the Bank this Saturday in Toronto opens up with Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline.
I mean, it's got to be Bloodline, right? Because it's probably gonna be Solo and Cody at SummerSlam.
Does Cody get pinned?
Nah, you know KO eating that pin. Come on, come on, bruh.
Yeah, you're right. I got the Bloodline also. WWE Intercontinental Championship match: Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker.
Ooh, I think it's gonna be a new IC champ. I think they're high on Braun Breaker. Give me Braun Breaker by not decapitation, but what's when you get your abdomen split in half, whatever you call that medically.
Getting fucked up. That's what yeah, Sammy's just they wasted taking the belt off of Gunther to give it to Sammy. They really did. Like I'm not feeling his title run.
I don't hate it. I mean,
Comes
but
up
who would have been what you like Jay, but I think Jay needs the world title. I think he could skip the IC title.
I mean, they could have fucking had Chad Gable take it off of him.
Yeah, that would have made more sense actually. But they wanted to go Chad Gable heel, so I mean, like you said, it hasn't been a super stellar run at IC title for Sammy, but I hadn't hated it. He's just there.
He's just a fiddler. He's like always in other people's business. Mind your business, Sammy.
But how's he in Braun's business though? I feel like Braun
was fighting somebody else last week, and then came out of he went to the office and talked to Adam Pearce, and Sammy showed up. He wasn't even like fucking with Sammy. He was fighting Dragunov.
Well, you got better memory than me. But didn't Braun like call him out though? He wanted that IC title. I don't know. Like I'm talking about like weeks ago, like maybe a month ago.
Sammy ain't got to answer that call. It's my business. You ain't hear what EJ just said that man gonna do to you on Saturday? You should have sent that shit to voicemail.
Hey.
God damn it.
Even more after this title run and try to put him in the world title like mid to early next year. I hope they don't do that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what's gonna happen?
Who's that? You said Sammy?
No, like Braun. Braun winning this IC title, I feel like he got called to SmackDown in February.
Yeah, I don't think Braun's gonna be winning the world title. I don't think he'll be in the world title picture anytime soon. He might have a fucking reign to go like Gunther did. He might be an Intercontinental Champion for a year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too mad at that. I just don't want them to try to fast track him because right now the fans are digging him. I don't want them to force him down their throat, you know. have it happen organically like it is right now.
Men's Money in the Bank ladder match: Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre.
Man, I'm yeah.
I was gonna say I'm picking Jey Uso, but I would not be surprised if LA Knight won. But I think there's gonna be all kind of interference in this match, including Punk. But I think Logan Paul might fuck with LA Knight too, and LA Knight and Logan Paul are at SummerSlam. So if you eliminate Drew, you eliminate LA Knight. I think Jey Uso is there, but then you got the Wyatts lingering in the background with Jey Uso and Chad Gable. So it's just so much shit that could happen in this match, and fuck around, Andrade's gonna win the goddamn thing. But I'm picking Jey Uso.
I can tell you one thing that's not going to happen: Andrade winning Money in the Bank. So go off on a limb and say that's not my pick. I've been kind of torn on this one, and that's a good thing because you don't want wrestling to be predictive or predictable. What you saying, Logan Paul? Because LA Knight already has something going on with Logan Paul, like you said, it's built into SummerSlam, and I don't really see anything on the horizon with SummerSlam with Jey Uso. So I'm leaning Jay, even though the fans are still digging both of them, and I feel like they're the most over as far as fan reaction on the positive side. Drew gets a big reaction more so on the other side. So I'm gonna go with Jey Uso to win this.
I already see it. They're gonna be on top of the ladder. It's gonna be Jay and LA Knight, and every time LA Knight hits Jay, they're gonna say yeah, and then yeet, yeah, yeet. I'm like, oh, it's so fucking corny. Didn't LA Knight go to fucking Logan Paul's house when he wasn't there and like break in? Did anything ever come of that? Like, did he do something? Did he like pee in his pool or something?
No, like when they just like kicked him out, he just left like without any smoke or anything. He just left like gingerly on his own accord.
It'd be fun if he did little shit like fucking left a steamy in his fucking toilet, and LA Knight or Logan Paul's like trying to fucking log on the stream, and LA Knight changed his fucking password to the Wi-Fi. Like, if he did some little stupid shit like that, because he just left. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he just left.
What was the point?
No clue.
The women's Money in the Bank ladder match: Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyra, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Stark.
You already know who I'm going with. Chelsea Green.
That's girl to win. I really do want her to win. I want her to have the briefcase and carry it around with fucking Piper as her heater and cash in and become champion. I think that would be so good. And then she could go home and tell Zack Ryder, like, I became WWE champion before you, and you were here for fucking 20 years.
That'd be hilarious. I'm surprised you didn't pick your girl Tiffy time.
Oh, I'm picking Tiffany. I'm just saying I want to see Chelsea win, but I think Tiffany Stratton's a shoe-in to win this.
Why though?
They love her, and I mean, and she can go.
Who's they though? I feel like she came in like with the Elimination Chamber. The fans were hot, but I feel like it's kind of died down a little bit as far as fandom.
I mean, WWE loves her.
I know what you're saying. That WWE does love her, but I feel like the fandom has kind of died down.
She's a heel.
I mean, the heat has died down then.
It won't when she cashes in on Bayley.
I think no. I don't know if people are high up on Bayley like they used to be though.
I know I'm not.
They don't. She still gets chairs, but it's not a fever pitch, you know?
Yeah. So I got Tiffany Stratton, you got Chelsea Green, we both got Jey Uso, we both got Braun Breaker, and we both got the Bloodlines. We've only picked one different. Let's see about this World Heavyweight Championship match: Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins. If Priest wins, Rollins cannot get another title shot as long as Priest has the belt. If Rollins wins, Priest must leave the Judgment Day.
I'm not going with Seth. Going with Priest.
Yeah, those stipulations are stupid because as soon as somebody else gets the belt, Seth can just challenge them.
Exactly.
I mean, like, if he loses, he could just beat the fuck out of Damian Priest and have somebody come cash in and be like, all right, this is what we're going to do. On Monday Night Raw, we're going to jump him. You're going to cash in. We're going to lock the Judgment Day in there with Liv Morgan. We're going to jump him. And then when you get the belt, I get the first title shot. Like, how come shit like that doesn't happen in wrestling?
I don't know. It'd be logical, but I guess it's because it's wrestling. That's why it doesn't happen.
Actually, you know what? It did happen. When The Miz cashed in on Drew McIntyre, he had Lashley fucking beat Drew McIntyre's ass, and he cashed in, and they had a deal, and Miz tried to back out of it.
I remember he did back out of it for 1 week.
Yeah,
I was kind of mad because I thought they were gonna screw Lashley over. I'm like, it's Vince. They ain't gonna give it to Lashley. And then next week, he got it. I'm like, okay.
Well, they screwed him. Remember, they screwed him out of it that week too, because that opened Monday Night Raw, and Miz tried to pull some shit, and they made it a fucking lumberjack match, I think, or something like that. And Lashley just, for lack of a better term, just beat the fuck out of him for a couple minutes and took the belt.
I was so hyped when that happened.
I was too. That was a good time too, seeing all the people on social media, like all the wrestlers in WWE and other companies, like congratulate Lashley because he don't really get his flowers as much as I think he should.
No, he don't. Yeah. Is he hurt? Like, what's going on with him now?
Yeah, he got hurt.
Damn. Man, what are they doing with the profits too, man? Like, come on. Like Montez Ford is big time.
Yeah. Damian Priest and Rollins, you said you got Priest. I got Priest also.
Yeah. Was it 5 matches?
Yep.
Well, with the Money in the Bank, though, those are going to go long. So it's a nice, concise pay-per-view. I'm going to have a good time watching it.
Drew McIntyre said if he wins, he's cashing in that night. Do you think we get a cash in? The women's champions won't be there. But Cody will be there and Priest will be there. You think we get a cash in?
Nah, I think Cody probably goes on first.
Yeah.
So we won't see a cash. It'd have to be Priest. If Drew McIntyre wins, I still don't think it's going to be a cash in. I don't think we see a cash in for the women's or the men's.
I think if McIntyre wins, he's going to try to cash in and Punk's going to cost him and he won't win with the briefcase.
You think he's going to cash in and then cost him or cash in before? Cost him before he cashes in.
I think he's going to cash in, and then Punk's going to come out and stop him from winning the belt, and then that'll be the briefcase on the men's side will be done after a couple hours.
That's such a waste of a briefcase, but I guess if for storyline purposes it wouldn't make sense. But I would like to see the briefcase winner actually cash in.
Yeah,
but you got to see how it plays out.
Well, EJ, that's all we got this week, man. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Be safe. Don't drink too much. Don't fucking go to the beach and watch wrestling like EJ. Fucking enjoy the butt cheeks in the sand.
Yeah, so don't be a loser like me. And don't blow your fingers off with fireworks.
Please. We need all your thumbs to fucking download this show and give us a 5-star rating. So keep all your limbs. That way you can do that. You got anything you want to say before we get out of here, EJ?
Oh, man. Shout out to everybody listening and watching it on YouTube and keep supporting us.
Yep. For EJ Reed, I'm Chris Rucker. This has been Boot to the Face. Until next time, happy Money in the Bank 4th of July NXT Heatwave Collision Weekend. Peace.
Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude.